This is a quick video on how a cleaning service can put together a voicemail script with a sales letter. And this can apply to commercial cleaning, janitorial, carpet cleaning services. And what the goal is for us to put together a voicemail script that we can use to follow up after we send a sales letter or a flyer. And there's two reasons for this. One, this is being recorded in August 2020. So with all the remote workers nowadays, which I think is going to be a pretty common practice going forward, at least for the next couple of years, there's going to be a lot of remote workers. It can be difficult to get a hold of people. So voicemail is going to be important, and we want to get our plugs in with voicemail. And the second part is when people are newer to marketing in general, or specifically phone marketing, they often don't have a lot of confidence. So this is a way that I often tell people, well, this is how you get started. Go 8 in the morning, go ahead and call 5 or 10 businesses and leave a voicemail for the contact person. And it's even better if you can send them a flyer either first or after. You can argue that either way, but uh, the point is to put these two things together. That's the goal. So to go through the script, the first part is we want to keep in mind that we only have about 30 seconds. So I try to keep it around 100 words, give or take. That's not an exact number. If you go over or under and get your point across, that is fine. But I think most of us would agree that we don't want to have to sit there and listen to a 2 or 3 minute voicemail. So we have around 30 seconds to 60 seconds. So that's why we want to keep this kind of short and to the point. And we start with a greeting, good morning, the person's name, then introduce our name and what company we're with. And in this part here, the important part is we work exclusively. This is, and we want to emphasize this because this is what's called an emotional word, or you've heard of emotional advertising. Well, this is what that means. We're plugging in a power word, some people call it, an emotional word to describe us. And if you don't work exclusively, then maybe you can use like specialize. There's a lot of different directions you can go with. And then if it's, for example, a medical building, doctor's office, clinic, that kind of stuff, that we could then plug in medical building. We want to get their attention right away. They receive all kinds of phone calls and solicitations all the time. So that's why we want to let them know that we specialize in their industry. And then to take a breath. Because even when you speak with somebody, it's similar to advertising. We need white space. That's what's called white space. We want to give them a second to take in all of this information. So it's important to remind yourself to take a minute, take a deep breath, and let them absorb what you just said. And then I'm following up on a letter I sent earlier this week, or I'm going to send a follow-up letter, would be another way you can approach this regarding our services. We want to tie in what we mailed to what we're saying in this voicemail. And then from here, we're going to go down to a pain point. That's all great. We do this and that, but what they want to know is what problem you're going to solve. Why do they care? So that's why we want to plug in a pain point. This is an example of one. It doesn't mean it's the only one. It's just a pain point. And so here we're going to say one of the challenges cleaning services have is hiring, training, and supervising cleaners. And when you talk to office managers, facility managers, this is going to be one of their biggest complaints. In the specialty fields, it's still important. It is still important. People complain about the techs. All with specialty, often it's more technical questions than the people, but it still is an important subject. And that's why we are going to address this. In the letter I recently mailed, we go over our extensive process. And again, here, this is emotional advertising, that we are plugging in another one of these emotional words, or these powerful words that we're trying to get our point across and draw that emotion out of somebody. We don't just have a process, we have an extensive process. And then again, take a pause, take a breath for a second, and then say, I'd like to see, what do you want them to do? This section is, well, what do you want them to do? Well, I want to see if you have 5 or 10 minutes or 10 or 15 available for a brief introduction. Now, there's a couple ways to approach this. You could go right for the appointment right here and there. That's if you are more aggressive, you would go right for the appointment. A more subtle way would be introduction. I'm not for and against either. Whatever you're comfortable with is what I would do. And here, because this is kind of vague, introduction can mean the phone, it can be email, it can be pretty much anything. Appointment generally means you're going to go out and meet somebody. Doesn't have to though. So this part, this can be changed to a couple different things. And then last but not least, please contact me when you have time. I can be reached at, and your phone number, you would want to put your email, any kind of contact information, and it can repeat your name, company, and the conclusion. I look forward to meeting you, because they're probably going to forget. By the time you go through all this, they might forget who you even are. And that's why at the end, we want to say, again, it's the name, your company, and I look forward to meeting with you. And then here at the bottom, I just included like general contact information that you would want to add. So this is an example of a voicemail script that you can leave when you are using the phone to call on commercial cleaning prospects.